What's going on, guys? Back at you again, and I wanted to talk about this part two of this breakdown. Hold on, give me 1 second. Let's move that out of the way somehow. All right, so if you look at the injury report, this kind of struck me a little bit because I was a little bit taken aback because didn't Von Miller get a torn ACL last year or a torn ACL? It wasn't his Achilles. So he tore his Achilles a year from now, or ago, I should say, right? And then a month ago or so, he had the domestic allegations. But now all of a sudden, that just got brushed under the carpet, right? And now he's on the injury report, and it's for just rest. So are they just going to have Von Miller just emerge out of nowhere and now be the star of the game? And also another player that was supposed to be out for the year is back. That would be the Ravens starting tight end. Yeah. Where is he? Mark Andrews. Andrews said how his body feels Saturday will ultimately determine whether he will play or not. And he referenced Terrell Owens. So he suffered a terrible injury earlier in the year. They said he was supposed to be out for the season. And now he's back. So you know he's going to come back. So now that kind of messes with me. Like, now I don't know. Now, I know it's going to be one of these two teams. But now that Mark Andrews is back, that makes Baltimore better than they already were. Unless they're going to be like, oh, Mark Andrews played and it messed with their chemistry. There's so many things they can say and do. But yeah, I'm almost positive it's one of these two teams, but like that, I wish Mark Andrews just stayed out because it would have made it easier. Because Von Miller has seemed to be just slid back into play out of nowhere. So Von Miller is a premier rusher, assuming that he can still do his position or his job properly. If he can, that's another reason why you should be very bullish on the Bills. And I don't know what's going on with the Gabriel Davis situation. He's hurt again. I don't know if he's going to play this week, but they're going to need him. If they're going to win this Super Bowl, they're going to need all hands on deck. They're losing linebackers, so Gabe needs to play for them if they're going to actually make some noise. But they might be able to beat Kansas City without him if they just keep targeting Stephon Diggs. But it makes me nervous that Mark Andrews is back, because they could just make Kansas City win and then have Mahomes versus Lamar, right? And then Lamar beats him with Mark Andrews, and then they're like, Mark Andrews is a better, younger version of Travis Kelce. He's making Kelce look bad out there and old, you know? I could really see that, too. So now, I don't know. Mark Andrews kind of threw a wrench in the plans for me, guys. I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm looking at this like, wow, this man was supposed to be out for the year. And now they have him and Likely. So now they have two tight ends they can go at. We're not even talking about the receivers and the committee of running backs they have. They have a committee of running backs. They have at least three good receivers that can play on anybody's team. And they have two tight ends that can start on most teams. So now it just makes it tough, because that's an all-pro tight end. That's like saying Kelce is gone for the year and now he's back. He's just now inserted in the lineup for the AFC divisional round match. You know what I mean? If that happened with the Chiefs, you would be thinking the same thing. You'd be saying, whoa, the Chiefs had no chance, and now they're just that much better. That's the same thing, guys. That's why I'm kind of like pulling the brakes a little bit. I was full go with the Bills. Let's say yesterday I was 100% Bills. Now I'm like 60% Bills, almost half and half Bills and Ravens. Really it's 40 Bills, 40 Ravens, 20% Chiefs, because they're still in play because of the Taylor Swift thing. So would Taylor Swift be on TV just to lose? Has Taylor Swift been on TV when the Chiefs lost? I don't think they have lost with her being at the game. You know what I mean? Like, are they going to make that a thing? Like, oh, whenever she's at the game, they win. Like, oh, she actually has the power to control the way the football game goes because she's there. The force of Taylor Swift. Like, That would be ridiculous, man. Like they're gonna lose a lot of fans if they make that happen. Like it would just be so fake, so stupid, and sad. Really, like all time low. That's just like WWE level, you know, like classic Vince McMahon storytelling. Like if anyone believes it's real, if the Chiefs win in that type of fashion because of Taylor Swift, like we're really gone as a society. Like honestly, like this is bigger than football. Like it's now infiltrated our sport. We can't even have a pure game, you know what I mean? Now they've brought Taylor Swift into our game, and our game was already highly flawed. Now it's flawed on a trillion because of this Taylor Swift thing. It's not even about football anymore. It's about celebrity action and making more money for the NFL. It's crazy. It's a TV show. It's all for the ratings. Imagine Taylor Swift at the Super Bowl in the booth for the Chiefs. That alone is going to bring in the ratings, and that's another thing that's fucking with me, guys. That they might let the Chiefs win it all, or at least make it to the Super Bowl and lose to the Niners. But are they going to make Mahomes lose to anyone but Brady? I don't know. Because Mahomes losing in the Super Bowl to like a Brock Purdy, that diminishes Tom Brady beating him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't think the league wants to diminish Tom Brady in any way. So there's so many angles, guys. You know what I mean? But I think we can all agree. Well, we can't really agree because it's three teams. It's the Baltimore, Buffalo, or the Chiefs. Houston, we know Houston's not going to be the one that makes it. But damn, guys. They just threw a wrench in there because they know there's guys like us that are trying to figure this shit out other than looking at stats and other things. So now they just fucked us. Mark Andrews and Von Miller are now in play, it looks like. Now that just changes a lot, guys. I wanted to break down some more of this film, but I just wanted to also... That's really the first thing I wanted to say, though, before the film. I wanted to tell you guys about that. So, when you're making these bets, you're making these picks, I don't know. I just wouldn't do it if I were you, especially if it's for big money. It's going to get really fucking tricky out here, man. They're going to be playing games. They're going to be doing all they can do to take your money, man. I can already see it. We're fighting forces like Taylor Swift. Now Von Miller out of the blue is now going to be on the field, apparently. And then now Mark Andrews is back. Like, it's just like, what is going on? And like the NFC, we can't figure this shit out either. Like, it's just madness. It really is madness over here. Like, because we all know Green Bay, like, they can come out of nowhere and beat the Niners, and that just ruins everyone's bracket because everyone picked the Niners. And that's another reason they can have the Niners. Well, they don't have to make them lose, but they can have Green Bay cover. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Like, but don't be surprised if Green Bay can beat them. Because, like I said, they can use that Aaron Rodgers script for Jordan Love. You know what I mean? Make him the new Aaron Rodgers. They could do that. But that means he'll only win one championship, but they can still do it. Detroit, I don't know what script they're running with that one. Because I'm trying to think of a team that's been like that. Like, just out of nowhere and just... I don't know. It might take me a while to think of something. Maybe like Arizona. From like those few Arizona teams. Remember that Arizona team that played against the Steelers in the Super Bowl? This Detroit team actually reminds me of them. Amon-Ra St. Brown is kind of like their Larry Fitzgerald. Catching the underneath routes and turning them into big plays. Like, they're kind of like that team. They have that Bruce Arians vibe with the way they move the offense. But ultimately, if they're the Arizona Cardinals, the imitation of them, they're going to come up short, right? Isn't that what that would mean? Good offense, fun game. Kurt Warner, AI, Jared Goff, you know what I mean? So, I think that's a good comp, in my opinion. So if that's the comp, they should be able to beat Tampa Bay in a shootout. I don't know. I'm having trouble with all of these games, to be honest, because it's a script and we don't know what they're going to do. I think a lot of these games are going to start with the losing team starting with the lead in the beginning to make people think they're gonna win, and then the winning team like catching up in the second half and beating them, even if it's a shootout. I think they're gonna have the losing team start off ahead to have people like go crazy with the live bets. I think that's what they'll do. That's what they did last week. Why wouldn't they do it again? They made mad money last week. The NFL did on that Cleveland game. Oh my God, they made money on the Miami game because no one could have seen Miami scoring no points like that. I don't know. So it's just crazy. What other game did they make money on? They made money on the Philly game. Even though people were down on Philly, they, you know what I mean? They still were in the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? They're not that bad at all. They're really not. L.A., Detroit, I guess they kind of like let the public have a little money there, but whatever, because the Rams did cover, and they had a lot of money up on them. A lot of people picked the Rams to cover. And then the Dallas game, they took people's money with that. So, I already, like I said, man, one of these teams are going to lose, man. One of these teams are going to get upset. I just don't know who it's going to be. I think San Francisco has a chance to be upset, guys, because they haven't played in weeks. Literally, like I said, they haven't played in like 3 weeks. Like, don't be surprised if San Francisco gets stunned by this Green Bay team. That's what I'm saying, guys. One of these teams are going to get upset. Don't be surprised if Tampa Bay upsets Detroit, guys. I'm telling you, man. But if Tampa Bay makes it to the NFC Championship game, they're not going to get further than that, though. I think we can all agree on that. But I'm just trying to think, man, because we're going to get an upset. Because I think a lot of people are probably picking the same games I just picked here. Over here, probably a lot of people pick the Chiefs instead because of Mahomes and Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? That's an enticing order. That's an enticing argument. If you're telling me you're picking the Chiefs because of the Taylor Swift, you know what I mean, and that they're the defending champs, I can't poo-poo that. You know what I mean? I can't really be like, oh, you're a moron for doing that. But I don't know. I just feel like that's too played out. And I feel like it would just make the NFL look so bad if they did that. You know how much like backlash they would get? How many more channels like this are going to get made if they let the Chiefs win with Taylor Swift at the head? It's not going to be good for the NFL for the Chiefs to win it. This is not going to be a good look. Just to make Mahomes look great and make a few more dollars. Like, come on, man. Come on. But yeah. Well, look out for this Green Bay game to upset the Niners, guys. Like, and don't be surprised about it, because Green Bay, they have 5 receivers. They're all good. 2 running backs, 2 tight ends, O-line, and they have a formidable defense. You're not going to be able to really stop the Niners, but you should be able to slow them down a tad bit, you know. And your offense, you should be able to score, you know. So I think people are being harsh with that line. I think it's a 10-point line or 9. That's a lot of points against Green Bay. Like, I just don't know, man. So just be wary of that. Don't be surprised if Green Bay wins. Don't be surprised if Tampa Bay wins at all. Because Detroit can come out and shit the bed and not play right. You know, Dan Campbell is on the sideline looking pissed. Because that's funny, too. So that could get ratings just by itself. Dan Campbell just melting down on the sideline. People will tune in just to see that alone. Baltimore could lose to Houston. CJ Stroud comes out and balls out. And Lamar just doesn't play well. I could see that happening as well. And like I said, the Taylor Swift thing. But I just don't know. I'm going to need more time with this to see if I might switch to an upset here. But as of right now, I don't think I can. Not this moment. So let's wait till maybe Saturday when I get back from work. Maybe we'll see. Maybe tomorrow too, but I don't think tomorrow I'll switch my pick. But Saturday, once it gets closer to kickoff, after I've done more research and heard all the bullshit and seen what's going on, by then we will have some more information. But let's look at a few more plays and then we'll get up out of here. So speaking of the devil, the Green Bay Packers, let's see some more of this. Let's see some more of the Dallas Cowboys lay down. Whoops, going the wrong way with that. Let's go this way with it. Alright, so let's see here. So they toss left. I think we talked about this. The end never. See, that's the defensive end right there. Never gets in position. Right here, you see him? He runs outside. He should be spinning off of that block and making the tackle. It's just ridiculous to me. Let's pause right here if it lets us. Nah, it's not going to let us pause where we want. I think it's because it's still loading from the last time when we watched. Alright, so you see the D end right here. So right now, he has eyes on the running back. The blocker, you should be able to spin off of him. And if you can't, this lineman judge is going to call a hold because he's keeping you from spinning. So that's why you should be spinning, to draw a flag and to also get off of the block if he allows you to make the tackle. So if you spin off, you literally will be turning right into the running back. Or if the running back reads your spin off, the running back bounces outside. That still will buy time for these guys to get to him. Or if he bounces inside, same thing. But you can't just let him go inside the alley between you and the D tackle. And that's what he does. Goes right through the alley. The safeties get blocked. Or actually get blocked. He avoids and goes around instead of through the block. Alright, goal line. They play action. So where's my defensive end here? Let's see this, guys. Fat boy right there. You see him? He's not pressuring the outside. Well, it's Micah guy, but I think he covers. So Micah pushes this guy, covers him. Didn't really have to, guys, but the throw, let's talk about the throw. This was an Aaron Rodgers type throw. This is why I think there's a chance that they can beat the Niners. Like, if he's going to make throws like this, but at the same time, the Cowboys aren't playing defense. They're all jogging around. Just pay attention to only the defense this time around. Just look at the guys in the white shirts. Don't look at Green Bay players. Look at the white shirts. Look at the effort. You got right here guys jogging in. No one's keying anybody. Leaving guys open. Eyeing the quarterback instead of looking for a receiver to guard. That's what we just saw there. Now, the quarterback, look at how he's throwing sidearm across his body. They're trying to showcase that he's the next Aaron Rodgers to do that throw. You see that throw, guys? Let's watch the line. Let's see what they fence, if there was any. So here's the receiver. No one jams. No jam. This guy runs by him. You saw the linebacker? He by him. Instead of just guarding him, let's pause right here. I don't know what's up with the pause. It's annoying me now at this point. So let's pause right here. All right, so you see this guy right here? He should just stay there. If he stayed there, there is no throw to be had. This guy, all he has to do is just stay right there. And then this guy right there, and just play the goal line. You got guys, you got guys, I can see them. So I just don't understand. This guy right here is going to run across the goal line for some reason and vacate the middle. So now this receiver is just going to run up in here and sit down. And then the next problem is you're going to have two guys on opposite sides looking at instead of looking at him so they can get closer to him to take him away. It's kind of ridiculous. So watch it play out. Just like how I said. He runs away, leaves him alone. And right there, if he stood there, literally, if he stood where I said and just stood there, the ball would have been thrown right at his face. Instead, he's at the flat when Micah was already on the running back. They botched that defense in every way they could. On top of just jogging. See? Look at the idiot away from the guy. Why would you run away from the receiver? Like, can anyone explain? Well, please don't try to explain because it's going to piss buzzing and he's going to run across the formation. Like, if anything, I would be the one who, especially if I'm already on. Like, it just doesn't make sense. Like, I'm trying to make sense of it, guys. It just does not make sense whatsoever. Like, look at that. Like, look at that. That's it. And there's no throw. Now, instead, we're talking about how he looks like Aaron Rodgers because you freaking moron ran all the way to the sideline for nothing. Literally no reason. Because Micah's already on him, running to the flat, and this guy who's in the flat is already there. Now you're running to a spot where two guys are already going to be. Meanwhile, the middle where you should have been is wide open. Like, y'all need to really use your critical thinking when you're watching these games and try to make sense of it. Because it doesn't make sense. Like, at all. Whoops. I might have just restarted. Oh, shit. Alright, no. Ah, shit. I might have fucked up. Ah, shit. I think I clicked over. Alright, whatever. We don't really care about the play it's in. The play order. Now, what the heck? I hate YouTube sometimes. I hate how they made this week's extra long because it just makes it harder to find parts that I want. And they did that on purpose. They're starting to catch on. So now we're watching the Bills game, I guess? I thought the freaking pointer... Hold on, guys. I wanted to see a little bit more of that Packers team. Ah, this is so annoying. Yeah, I might have to actually reload this because it's growing so slow. But you know what? Whatever. We'll just do a few more plays. Yeah, this is just Josh could have gone off easily right here. You're going to see the defensive end closest to us, 56. You see he runs by the quarterback? Ay. This is annoying the hell out of me. So look at 56. Watch him. He runs by the quarterback. Like Josh knows. So this guy right here is going to run by the quarterback. And Josh knows that. How many times have we seen him just take off when that happens? So he's going to run by him. And instead of just running by him, Josh, he's just going to stand there and then run this way instead and get sacked. So this was an on-time sack because they're up by so much they can't let him just whop him over the head. And it looked like a wide-open receiver down here, too. Yep, open receiver, wide, and he just runs the opposite way to get sacked. I remember watching that thinking to myself, he was just letting him sack him. I'm not buying that one at all. Mama ain't raised no fool. No blocking at all, not properly. Look at the tackles. They're not getting their kick steps at all. They're shuffling immediately. Watch the right tackle. Doesn't even kick step at all. He shuffled and then just absorbed the guy. You'll lose on every... Let's look at the top. Let's look at his technique. Let's see if he does his technique properly. Probably not. Let's see. He does one kick step and then he goes right into a shuffle. And then gives up the inside. Yep. Sounds about right. Sounds about right. Oh, 52 crashed inside. So they were giving this up on purpose. Look at 52. Crashes. Gives up the inside. One is in no man. Jumps up like he's going to get that. Dude, run back and get depth and play the ball properly. Like, that was just stupid. He Superman jumps up in the air. Goddamn. Now, the Bills seem to just be not playing defense properly. Like, why is the middle linebacker 52? Why are you so shallow? It's a pass play, and you're sitting there. You're not backing up at all. Like, what are we doing, 52 in the middle? Look at him. He just sits there, literally. You can't just stay at the same depth you were at when he said hike. When it's a pass and you've discovered it's pass, you got to back up at least 10, 15 yards. If you did that, you'd have a pick or at least a play on the ball. He's the reason he's shallow is because there's a guy in his zone. There is nothing in the middle zone, so you got to back up and look for work. Instead, he just stands there and looks at the quarterback, and the quarterback throws it right by his face, practically. Or throws it right where he should have been. 52. If he was back here like he should have been, he would have made a play on the ball. But he stayed shallow on purpose to allow the Steeler completion, to let them in the game. You know, that's just what they do. Now give up the field goal, you know. I don't know why a field goal is a highlight play. Top plays of the 2023 Super Wildcard Weekend. But it was a field goal. How is that a top play? They're being scum making this extra long. Oh yeah, this is the completion to make Josh look amazing. This completion made me think that this is this year's Patrick Mahomes. Like, look at this. Just crash inside. Look at him. 94 goes right inside. Or 51 goes inside. And then this guy doesn't even rush. Now 51 goes inside out. That allows him outside when he should have been outside in. Of course. And the catch. All because 51 wanted to twist inside. Another field goal on the top plays. How about them apples? No rush at all by the Bills, so they seem to be assisting a little bit more. 3rd and 11. Oh, they're going to get there now? Nope. I told you, though, the rush was never getting there. They weren't rushing. They all bunched up in the middle and just stood there and they were holding each other's breastplates. That's what they were doing. Patty cake. Or we're going to call those breast cake. They were breast caking. Defensive end, every time an outside happens or any type of play happens, I look for the defensive end. Or if he's existing at all. Let's see. He's right there. He goes inside and he handled. He's green. It's his fault, guys. He never admitted to the outside to contain, and that's where he lost. Once you go inside, you lose. Go in outside, not inside. He went inside and helped the blocker. He sealed him off. That's all it is. Now, fat-ass 91 can't get there. He dove at his friggin' crusty feet. Disgusting, man. See, it's just not only touchdowns where you see big plays. Oh, here where we were before. We talked about this play. Let me fast forward a little bit. I knew we were close, and then we talked about this play where they're trying to make him look like Aaron Rodgers. But I just couldn't believe that this linebacker just left the middle open like that. If he stayed in the middle, he wouldn't have been able to throw that across the body throw for the touchdown. When the defense ran away. It's funny though. I would love to see an NFL player watch my content without anyone knowing though. Like, because if someone knows that they're watching, they're probably gonna fake what they really want to say. Like, I wish I was like a fly on the wall while they were watching my content just to see what they were saying. Like, if he's like, "You're right about that," like, right on. I wish. But anyway, so it looks like Green Bay's not rushing properly. I'm on the freeze. They're not rushing properly here. 90's doing a bull rush. He actually got there on the bull rush. Holy shit. He almost fell, too, it looked like. This guy, it looked like he almost busted his ass right here. But the left tackle doesn't get his depth, and that's why he got beat. He went right into a shuffle and tried to catch him in his stomach. That's what happens. Felt like a lot of dynasties where teams were over. Like the Eagles. Didn't it feel like the Eagles were done? Like that team is finished? Like it just felt like an end of a... I don't want to say dynasty, but it just felt like an end of an era with that Eagles team. Didn't it feel like that? It felt like an end of an era for them. Like it felt like the beginning for them of a new era for the Rams, I must say. That's what it felt like. For Green Bay, or for Dallas, it seemed like they're not in a good place. I don't know if it's the beginning or the end for them, but it just doesn't feel good for them at all. As a Dallas Cowboys owner or fan, you shouldn't feel good right now. Bill Belichick or not. You don't have a Super Bowl winning quarterback. Like Dak, as long as Dak is your quarterback, you'll be good in the regular season, but you're never going to win a Super Bowl. And ultimately, this is why you play the sport. So that kind of answers your question on what they need to do. Houston, no matter what happens, it feels like a beginning of an era for them. Cleveland, I feel like Cleveland will be okay. They'll be in the running, but they're not going to win a Super Bowl, I don't think. The Dolphins, same with them. They'll be competitive, but until they get a quarterback better than Tua, they're going to be basically like the Cowboys. They're the Cowboys of the AFC, the fake tan, right? You know, they're the sports car in January or December. Not really built for that weather. They're nice, but not useful all the time. Specific times they're good for. That's what Miami and the Cowboys are. Buffalo, I don't know. It feels like their window's closing. That's why it's like a sense of urgency for them. Pittsburgh, they're in limbo. I feel like they don't have a quarterback. Good organization, but no quarterback. Good coach, no quarterback. Baltimore feels like they'll be around for a while. Detroit it kind of feels like they'll be around for a good few years as well, honestly. And same with the Niners. So, I mean, we got some teams that are going to be around for a while, it feels like. But let's do a few more plays and call it a game over here. So, yeah, we saw this at the sack. So let's go to the next play. Wait, no, this isn't the sack. This is the play after. Oh, the touchdown. All right, let's see how they scored. So the dude was in the middle of the field. So that's Cisco's going to attack them. If they're going to play man, which they didn't do a lot, Green Bay, they played a lot of match man. So it looked like man, but it wasn't. So if they play man against San Francisco, San Fran might have an edge on them. If they play a smart match zone, who knows what happens there. So you get beat by the tight end there, huh? Let's see. He jams like a pussy, and then the safety helps outside instead of inside. That was weird. Unless that was CD. If that's him, okay. If it's anyone else but CD, the safety was supposed to be there to help. Okay, so that's why, because this is supposed to jump that. So he was doubling CD Lamb, but I still don't agree with that. I think you gotta play sound football no matter who's out there. Oh my God, it's CD Lamb. We gotta double and not play our defense properly. This is just Green Bay letting them score. You look at the defense; they're all just standing around. They're all standing up straight. No one is in a football stance. No one's getting low. You can tell when they're not trying. It's very noticeable. Like, why are they not trying? So I'm very curious to see the body language. And maybe we'll do that. Usually I wait for the NFC and AFC championships and the Super Bowl. But maybe if they allow us, maybe we'll tape the entrances. And we'll try to surmise and see which team looks like they're ready to go. And which team looks like they're not. And they are giving losing vibes. We usually do that for the last weeks. But maybe we'll do it this week. We'll see. So, I don't know. Other than that, guys, I think we've seen enough. I don't know. Maybe we can do a play or so, but it's, you know what I mean? It's the same toilet, different shit, or different day, same shit. However you want to say it. It's the same. I'm trying to get to this play. So alright, so it's like number 9 crashes inside. What the hell just happened? Alright, watch. 90's gonna crash inside. So look at that. That's terrible. Now that's gonna allow Dak to get outside because 90 went inside for whatever reason and allowed CD to be wide open. And I think we'll leave it off right there, guys. Just because, like, that was just blatantly just not sound football at all. You got a defensive end running inside like a bat out of hell for no reason, taking himself out of the play, allowing a mobile quarterback to get on the perimeter to throw to his best receiver, ultimately giving him no pressure to make the throw he wanted to make. Like, if you think that's real, I can't help you. If you know that that's fake and you understand that something is wrong, or maybe you're on the fence, you're at the right place. Stay here a little longer and I will convince you. But it's the guys that are just so convinced that it's real and won't even like bat an eye just to research and really just like think. Because that's what it involves. It's ego. You know what I mean? To say the NFL isn't manipulated and somewhat scripted and rigged in some way, if you're on the fence, that's ego. That's your ego. You don't want to admit it because it's your ego. Because it doesn't affect you. You know what I mean? Just like the first time when you found out wrestling was real or wasn't real. You know what I mean? At first you're like, no way. Until it took time. You know what I mean? Until you're like, oh, okay, maybe it isn't real. It's the same fucking thing. The only difference is you've been watching it thinking it's real for so much longer than wrestling. Wrestling, you thought it was real for maybe 5 years max when you were younger. Right now, with this shit, it's been some of us 50 years, 40, 30, down, you know what I mean? Like, a lot of us have been watching it our whole lives, depending on how old you are, decades. So it's going to take a while for you to realize and understand that this is not what I thought it was. At the very least, say that. You know what I mean? If you don't want to fully jump in the pool, put your toes in. You know what I mean? And just listen to me a little bit longer. Stay a little while longer, and I convince you, and that I'll convince you. I promise you I'll convince you. Other than that, guys, we're good. Yeah, that's it for today. There was something else I saw, but I think I'm going to wait on that. But thanks for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.